Hey guys, welcome back to Mod and Pop Thrift. My name is Tom, and I am a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for 5 kids. And in the next 2 weeks, it'll be 6 kids because we got a baby girl coming right here at the end of October. And now I am officially a monetized YouTuber. Like I didn't have everything set up right, and I didn't know it, and I didn't know how to fix it. I knew that something wasn't happening, but anyway, I got it straightened around, and I made $2 on YouTube today, which is a big deal. Like, it's never been about, I'm never going to be Commonwealth Picker or Harry Tornado and make most of my income on YouTube and just sell on eBay so that I have content to make money on YouTube. But I set a goal to be a monetized YouTuber. Officially, I don't have a check in my hand. You don't actually get money until you make $100 to get a payout. But it isn't about, what I'm saying it isn't about the money. It's about setting the goal and making it. It took me a long time. Anyway, excited about that. Excited about the fact that I have a bunch to go out today. Hold on just a minute. All right, so I don't know what I did to my hip, but I feel like an old lady. Like, my hip. Which is a not funny trope, really, but it's the way that I feel. I did all that to get to this thing. Okay, so it's Tuesday, holiday weekend, at least a male holiday weekend. 28 going out for $739. Not a lot. I didn't get a lot of the stuff from that big toy haul listed because life happens, and I just didn't get to getting a lot of that stuff listed. I tried to get stuff listed really quickly, but it didn't happen this time. Most of it'll probably get listed this week because I just can't sit on it. We're in Q4. It's go time. $7.50 plus shipping. This came out of my personal t-shirt collection. It fits, and it's fine, and it's a 2X, but like this much print on the front of a shirt, it feels like you're wearing a garbage bag. It's just so sticky and hot and uncomfortable to wear that I just stopped wearing it. It's a cool shirt. I like it, but I'm not keeping it because it's uncomfortable. Mickey Mouse. These sleepy-eyed cups. There's a mini one. I know there's a Tinkerbell one. I've had that one too. Some mornings are rough. I don't remember what any of the rest of them say. Mornings are less magical and not a morning person. They're like, that's not a particularly Mickey Mouse thing to say. And for Mickey to have bloodshot eyes is weird. But these were 15 bucks. At the parks, I bought this for $1 at a garage sale. Sold for essentially $18 free shipping. Lots of coffee mug action here this week. So, NOLA, I bought all of these You Are Here mugs. Oh, no. All these You Are Here mugs from their Starbucks 2014. Very collectible series. City names. This one is New Orleans, and it sold for $14.80. Paid $1. Las Vegas, Starbucks 2014. It's a little faded out on the bottom, but it's in nice shape otherwise. I sold it for $14.80 plus shipping. That was a little bit low on the New Orleans one. It's worth a little bit more, but I'd already listed the other two, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep them all the same, and if it sells faster, great. And those two sold, and I still have the Orlando one. But I paid $3 for all 3, and I've got $30 free shipping, and it's probably going to cost me $6-8 bucks to ship those. But I'm excited about those. They flipped quick. If you hear me panting because I have to stand up, it is just extremely painful to move. I don't know what's going on with my hip, but you'll have to forgive my heavy breathing for a minute because I'm in a lot of pain. Paid $2 for this at an estate sale the other day. It is a little rusty on the bottom, but it does not leak. Buyer messaged me to make sure it didn't leak. I wouldn't send it leaky. I would empty it and then sell it empty. But and then this one, this is a cone top can. And this is a metal oil can. This says, and maybe you guys know better than I do, this says 65 right on the edge. Looks like Pac-Man is eating the number 65. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably the year the thing was made. This one has a Pac-Man eating a 72. I don't know if that's true, but those sold to the same buyer. I have $2 a piece into them, and they sold for a total of $39, buyer all in at $56. So they sold for basically $40 plus shipping. Be pretty easy to ship together. And the buyer was pretty excited to get the deal on the pair. This thing is amazing, and I considered keeping it, but I just decided not to. It's too desirable. I need too badly to get the money back out of all that money that I spent this weekend filling the truck up with stuff like this. Mars Attacks. This is the disintegrator ray, and I took the batteries out of it because I never ship electronics with batteries in them unless they're watch batteries. But the this thing, like, it goes beep, 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 and then you turn this dial and it'll go beep, 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 beep. And then it makes 3 different noises, has different position selectors, and it all works. And it's in fantastic condition for a toy, for what it is. I mean, it's a toy from '96. It doesn't have broken parts. It doesn't have a whole bunch of wear. It does have a little bit of wear, but it's in really nice condition, and sold overnight after being listed probably 6, 8, 10 hours, something like that, for $50 plus shipping. Mars Attacks, they didn't make a lot of stuff for. So when you find Mars Attacks stuff, it's going to do well because it's kind of a cult classic at this point, and and there's not a lot of stuff for it. This guy we paid $1 for at that garage sale or thereabouts. So like, it ended up being just such a bulk deal. It's hard to get a cost of goods, but this was in the dollar pile. So I paid assumably $1 or less for it. It sold for $12.99 plus shipping, buyers all in at $23. It's from 1991, and it's the same as those, there were wrestling buddies then, and these Marvel action hero buddies, that all of that stuff does well. That weird shape of superhero. This is a bolo for you, for sure. These. So I picked these up for $2 a piece, and I said to you guys, and I said to my buddy Alex 6x6, if I can't get them to work, I can sell them untested for a lot more than I paid for them. And that's exactly what happened. This one didn't power on at all. This one powered on and wouldn't read the disc. And this one, look how thin that is. How would you even get a battery into that to try it? Well, as it turns out, very unique for its time, but not really unique anymore. This has a proprietary rechargeable battery in it, but it's removable, and this has the original Sony proprietary battery. And this is EJ2000. Yeah, DEJ2000. You're never going to focus on that to see it, but there it is. And this thin, and it's all metal. It's like, it feels like, I don't know, feels like pressed aluminum or something. DEJ2000, Sony Walkman, very desirable. There were ones sold in perfect condition, but didn't have, you have to have a proprietary charger to charge the proprietary battery so that you can test it. I don't have that. Neither did any of the comps on this. And they were selling for like 40 bucks a piece. But this one has some dents and some scratches. And I just wanted it to move quickly. I didn't want it to sit forever. So I listed them all for... And this one does really well. They're all DEJ. And this one is 001. DEJ 001 Walkman. Really good. This one does really well if it works. But there weren't any comps for sold comps for not working, and this one is 360, right? 360, yeah, DEJ 360. Psych. And this one was the same. Like, it sells reasonably well. Like, this one would sell for $40 if it was working. There's no comps for it selling not working, and this one sold for like $25, not working, but no not working comps that I could find. So my thought was, this one is worth $25, and if I lot them together, they'll sell quick. And I'm $6 into the whole lot, sold for $25. Their part's not working, and so it makes it really easy on me. Buyer paid $35. Pretty simple stuff. This coveralls, that's an older style of camo. They're Trophy Club, and I paid $20 for them at auction over a year ago. They sold for $21 plus shipping. They just weren't a good pickup, and I realized that. Like, it was an auction, and I didn't see that they were in the auction, so I didn't do the comps ahead of time. I felt like I would probably get 40. I was wrong. They just didn't do very well. And let me say about this thing, they just didn't do very well, and I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to hold out for $25, $28, $30 on something that should sell for $20 because I bought it wrong. I could donate it. I could hang on to it forever and hope that it sells for above the market, or I could sell it and get my investment back. And I'm definitely taking door number 3. It doesn't make sense to me to lose all the money because I'm irritated that I made a bad buy. And it doesn't make any sense to me to wait on the market to change. I would just rather get my money back. And this is probably going to get me close to break even because I'll make money on the shipping. I won't be able to get those into a legal flat rate, but they still, the buyer paid over $12 for shipping, and it'll probably cost me like $9. And so fees, I mean, I'm basically eating the fees to get my money back. And so I just, on bad buys, the terminology that I use, I divorce myself from the cost of goods when I'm pricing something, because you can't, what you paid doesn't make it worth more money. And so that one I just kind of had to eat crow and get my money back. And I think that it is important. That's an important thing. And I tell people all the time, they're like, how'd you learn to do this? I'm like, it's an expensive education. You got to buy a lot of crap and lose some money on it until you figure out what works. It isn't going to happen quick. It's a slow moving machine, and it's an expensive education. And this, I hadn't learned my lesson on yet, because I've been too old to make those rookie mistakes. But that's what happened. But I think there's some sense to which people might want to be like, well, if I mark them for 35, somebody will buy them eventually. I don't know that that's going to happen. The market is the market, and you can't base your price on what you paid when the market doesn't support that. That's all I'm trying to say. Chambray, Dickies, really bad condition. I did not notice how terrible a condition. Now, the other day I had one where I was like, oh, I didn't really notice the condition. The lighting is bad in this thrift store. And so I'm going to have to start taking clothes like out. So they have an outside area to check them, because this is just not great. Sold for $12. I paid $2.50. It sold for $12 free shipping because I got it home and I'm like, boy, that's hardly worth selling. It's not worth a bunch of money, and it's filthy. But I listed it cheap enough that it would be worth it for somebody to either wear it. There are guys who like workwear that looks worked in. $4. Military bars, McDonald's arches. I don't exactly know what the tie-in is there. I paid nothing for that. It's been listed a long time. Somebody sent me a $4 offer. I think it was listed for $5.50. I took it. No dumping allowed. $9.99 plus shipping. Nothing really to tell about that. It's vintage. It's real flimsy sign. I bought a bunch of them all at the same time. I don't have hardly anything into each of them, and they sell for 10 bucks, and I've sold 20 of them. I probably have 20 more to sell. This is a very unusual looking hat. I think it's part of a lot that I paid 75 cents a hat for about 40 hats, and it sold for $9.50 plus shipping, buyers all in at $15.75. Vintage Hooters shirts used to do really, really well. They still sell, but not nearly like they used to. Gulf Shores, Alabama. This one sold for $14.75. I picked it up on the Goodwill rack. It must have been somebody's like out-of-town vacation, and they brought that back. I paid $1 a piece for 3 of these. We just told this story on the last What Sold video, I think. This is called an OD, and it's a 5-button. And if you find them in wool, they do well. If you find them in acrylic, they don't. These are acrylic, but I paid $1 a piece, and I thought that I had 3 that were all the same size because I got all 3 of them off the same place, the same rack, the same yard sale. I just assumed they were all the same size, but they were small, medium, and large. And so then I just had to make 3 different listings, and it's not a big deal, but I was thinking, oh, they'll sell for $10 or $15 a piece, and they'll be easy to make 1 listing and make that money quick. And it's not like it's really hard to make 3 listings, but it wasn't quite as easy as I thought. If I had known they were all 3 different sizes, I probably wouldn't have got them. But I got them home. I realized they were 3 different sizes. They've sold 2 of them, so they are moving. Buyers all in at $19.13, and that's gonna ship for no more than $7.90 because I can do it in a priority flat rate envelope. This I caught in the women's sweatshirts, and men's sweatshirts are $7.99 at my Goodwill. Women's sweatshirts are $4.99 at my Goodwill. This was on the new rack, but it was marked as women's. Well, it's a unisex Hanes tag, and it says the Stone Aged. And then it has this little Piper who has a name. What's its name? Kokopelli? Kokopelli?
Kokopelli. Kokopelli.
That thing that you see on lots of Bohemian, lots of Native American stuff, has a keyword, has a name. Rockwear Stonewashed Cotton. So it kind of looks tie-dye-y. It's stonewash. And that's what caught my eye. They had it marked as women's, so it was only $5. Sold for $20 free shipping. The last of these, I paid $20 and $25 a piece for a bunch of vintage Champion jerseys. This is Shaq's rookie jersey, Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal, 94, 95 he played for them. Maybe 96 and 97 as well. But he, before he ended up with the Lakers and Kobe and did so well. But I paid $20 for this. And all of them have sold now. And this one sold for $45. These are Caterpillar Tractor, Peoria, Illinois, like employee ID badges, which are highly collectible as a genre of collectible. ID badges are a very collectible thing. Think Disney World, like cast member badges. We don't need those stinking badges. These are in terrible shape. This one's even like burnt, but I paid $0.25 a piece for them, and they sold for $20 plus shipping. And those are probably the least desirable ones because they don't say a name and they don't say a building. They just say Caterpillar Tractor, and they're old. and they, I got them cheap and knew that they would sell. This is a cool piece kind of thing that I'll pay up for because I like it and I like to have this stuff. Batman and Robin. This is a gigantic poster, and it's from when the Chris O'Donnell, George Clooney movie was released VHS at Walmart. And I know that because it says Walmart 1997 on it. And the buyer, I think I paid $40 for it. And the buyer, I had it listed for $125, and somebody messaged me and asked me if I'd take $80 for it. And I hem-hawed a little bit, and then I'm like, you know what? People aren't jumping through hoops to come buy this from me. I'm going to take the money that I can get for it, taking profitable offers, because I'm here to make profit on merchandise, not hold on to it. Drew Tip of the Mid Flip says, I'm a store, not storage. I need to move things. This was a bad pickup. This was just a bad buy. I paid $5 for it, new with tag. I hoped that it was vintage, and I did not see a date on it when I bought it. And then when I got back to the car, I looked more closely, and it does say that it's from 2021. So it is not vintage. It looks vintage. If it had been vintage, it would have been probably a $50 hat. But being a reprint, it was worth $15 free shipping. So I'm not going to lose money, but I'm certainly not making money. This hat has made me a bunch of money. It's a Hardee's Stadium giveaway, Fighting the Lion Eye from 1990. And it is, I paid $2.15 for 8 of them, or something like that. And this is the lowest offer I've accepted on it, which is $10.49 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $17. And I've sold a bunch of them. I sold one to a guy in Chicago who has a photo, he's a photography studio. That's the term I'm looking for. And he had it for like 10 days. And then he's like, oh, we don't need it anymore. Let me take advantage of your free return policy. And I was pretty irritated, but I do have the free return policy, and that would have marked the first time I've ever had anybody rent something, to the best of my knowledge. I didn't know that that guy was renting it from. I think a lot of people are really quickly willing to jump to that conclusion and assume bad things about the people that are buying things from them. Like, oh, that guy has to have just rented it to take pictures, and when he got his pictures taken, he's sending it back. What a jerkwad. Or maybe he got it and it didn't match exactly what he thought it was going to, so he didn't need it anymore. Maybe he lost the client. Maybe a lot of things. You could have just as easily assumed good things about the people who are buying from you. If you want to make up a story that the guy rented it so that he could take pictures, got the pictures that he wanted, and then he's going to return it, you're making up that story. It would probably serve you significantly better to make up good stories about that guy. Like his client, who played college but wasn't going to make it to the NBA, got picked up by a team in Europe and had to leave, and they're not going to be able to do the photo shoot because that guy went on to success, and this guy didn't lose a client to any fault of his own, but he didn't need that hat anymore because the photo shoot wasn't happening. So we can all make up stories. You should make up good stories if you're going to make up stories, because like that, I felt a little taken advantage of, but it was because I was making up a story in my head. It doesn't do us any good. It's not personal. It's business. So just, I have free returns. They never sent it back. It never came back. eBay closed the case. But the Facebook making up stories about what they assume a customer's doing. Oh, that person bought a VHS tape and returned it. They must have just made their own copy of it, and now they have their copy and they sent it back to me. Is this 1990? I don't think people probably were doing that by the time eBay was actually a thing. Because like 95, 96, people were doing that with, were using DVDs. Not everybody, not all the time, but DVDs were a thing by then. Anyway, I digress. If you're going to make up stories about your customers, make them good stories instead of bad stories, because it's all making up stories, and it's all speculation. These sold for $7. Neither of them are worth selling by themselves. Game Party and Game Party 2. They're hardly worth selling as a lot, but I got them as part of a big lot, and I thought I might as well put them together and see if I can make a little bit, kind of maximize my profits on that thing instead of throwing those into a lot of a bunch of games that are only worth $2 or $3. If I divide those two out, I might be able to get 7, so $3.50 a piece instead of $2 a piece on those games. This Old Time Hockey is a really good brand. They make high quality. This is basically a sweater that's made to look like a hockey jersey. Desiree picked this up for like $6, and it sold for $30 plus shipping twice, because it sold and then it got returned because the parents were giving it as a gift and it didn't fit. They messaged me. I didn't make that story up. They messaged me and told me that. They were really apologetic about the return too. This I paid 50 cents for. I got a handful of these. They were not a good pickup. They are laminated covers because they're ex-library. And that one sold for $11 free shipping. Desiree also picked up these. She paid $1.50 for these as a unit. They sold for, this is a Tito's vodka, like do-rag, and this is a Tito's scrunchie. Hair up, drink up, cheers, enjoy. They sold for $10 free shipping. Not setting the world on fire, but for $1.50, pretty cool. These dinosaurs used to do really well. The market's fallen off for them. I don't know what made them popular. I don't know what made the market fall off, but these big plastic dinosaurs used to sell pretty well. Bronchiosaurus, I don't know, Asaurus, and you don't care, Alopolis. There are things that you call the dinosaurs besides Asaurus. Anyway, they sold for $11 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $21. And these are going to be a little bit of a bear to ship because I got to find the right size box, but it'll be okay. I paid $1.50 Centurinos off a new cart. They brought out a bunch of stuff that was Indiana Hoosiers. And this was one of the things, like a golf towel. This says team effort towel, maybe like a terrible towel for Pittsburgh Steelers or something, a team support towel, more than like a towel to put on your golf cart. Anyway, it sold for $6.99 plus shipping. So buyer paid $13. So I'm going to make money on the shipping. And then the last thing, this one says Adele. Let's see if I got the name right. Adele sweater. This came from the Everything's a Dollar sale. Bears, just a really cutesy, like sickening cutesy sweater. Sold for $16.99 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $24. And that is everything. The 28 items for $740. Those are all going to have to go on Tuesday morning when I ship in the morning. Because right now it is 8:30 and I'm going to go back in, nurse my sore hip, and tuck my children in for bed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting us to monetization. Thanks for following us as we benchmark these kind of things where we get to 1,000 subscribers and then we finally start making some money. And as we, we're just growing this community, and there's so many people that comment every video and make this community good. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. Thanks for liking. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for following and clicking the bell and all the things that you guys do. We'll see you on the next one.